Introducing our DIY tubers.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today, we're introducing the 4 original DIY tuber candidates. Yes, we've selected, and we had a really nice panel of people helping us select them. We reached out to other YouTubers. We reached out to fans of our channel to see who they wanted on here. We sent them all little clips, and this is who we ended up with. So let's start with the first one, Nick.
Well, I want to start with the first one, but I also want you to set the scene for me here. What is DIY tuber if folks are just coming to our channel? Why should they want to meet these people who they are about to meet? And how is it going to change everybody's life?
So DIY Tuber is a program that we thought of to help small content creators get a voice and build a culture and build a community in a positive way. So these are all people that they exude positiveness in their videos. They're just really engaging people, but they don't have an audience. So the DIY Tuber program is to help get more educational content on YouTube. So they won't be doing product comparisons. They won't be doing stuff like that. They'll be doing educational content, having fun while we're at it. And of course, it's a bit of a contest. So they're going to be, vying for your attention, also vying for your votes, and, go give them a subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do that with us too if you haven't done it already. But nonetheless, it's going to be just a fun 3-month competition. Now, at the end of the 3 months, we have to pick a winner. That winner gets put off in the closet for a few months. Then we take another batch of 4 people. They compete for 3 months. We take another batch of 3 people. They compete for 3 months. Then we bring the 3 winners back. But to add a little twist to the plot, we bring, by customer vote or by votes on our Facebook page, 1 person, we bring them back. So one of the 9 people that got excluded, in a way, gets to come back and compete for the last round to be the DIY Tuber of the Year. So it should be a fun little competition.
Yeah, and I think competition's a beautiful thing. It brings out, the excellence in everybody. Kind of forces them a little out of their comfort zone to really up their game. And I'm excited for everybody to meet our first of 4 DIY tubers, Mr. Bruce.
Hey.
Good afternoon, Bruce.
Good afternoon.
Or morning, evening, depending on when you're watching. Yeah.
So your YouTube channel, Bruce, is Bruce's Garage, right?
Yes.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it was very creative, wasn't it?
Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage.
Okay, so Bruce, you recently got into detailing. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. Yeah, I've been detailing, I guess, formally, if you could say, as a hobby for about 1.5 years. We had moved into a new home, and it had this fantastic 3-car garage that had an epoxy floor, fully drywalled, 10-foot ceilings, had a built-in heater. And I was like, okay, what can I do with this space? Like, I have to figure out what I can do with it because it was so cool. And I thought, well, I've always liked taking care of my cars. And I'm an organized person, and I wanted things just kind of in order. And so, I started buying just a few little things. And then, that was all it took. And the obsession got in my blood. And now it's like I can't go a weekend without detailing somebody's car, or I feel like I'm in total withdrawal.
I know that feeling all too well. That is the honeymoon phase. It's a beautiful time. It's a little scary for your family if they want your time, because you just, for some reason, I don't know what it is. What do you think it is about detailing that sucked you in?
I was thinking about that, and I spent about 15 years in the fire department many years ago, and I think it was ingrained at that. I was 19 at the time. And so when I started, everything, we had order for everything we did.
Yep.
We took care of our equipment. We had a lot of pride in everything we did, whether it was the firehouse or whether it was the ambulance or our fire trucks, whatever. It all had to be in working order, clean, neat, and ready to go. And I think that just instilled in me a certain way to think about things. And that, to this day, whether it's detailing equipment, whether it's tools, I have to have them in order. I need to know where I get them, almost like I did with my drug box in the ambulance. Like, you things are in a certain order, where they are because you need to get to them in an emergency. Even I don't need my tools in an emergency, it just kind of made this like mindset for me. So that's just kind of, how I kind of got into it.
Perfect. Now, what are your expectations from the DIY Tuber program?
Fun, challenge, getting to meet other people and learning and growing. That's why I started my YouTube channel. Like I was thinking about why do a YouTube channel? So, okay, you're into detailing, but why would you create a YouTube channel? And for me, I've always had a love of photography. And I've always, for 30 plus years done still photography, never touched video, had not a clue about video, had not a clue about audio. And I wanted to learn it. And I was always behind the camera. I didn't like being in front of the camera. And I wanted to get over that. Not that it didn't ever really bother me being in front of the camera. I've done that at work and I've done that in other things, but it wasn't something I enjoyed. Well, then I decided to create the YouTube channel to learn, to grow, to be uncomfortable, challenge myself. And I just, and learn videography, learn editing. And so it was just a growth. And so I hope to get that. I hope to take it to the next level and just really get better at what I'm doing. And I love sharing what I'm passionate about with other people. So YouTube's just a great forum to do that.
What would you say to beginning detailers out there? Because you're right in the middle of this great transition in your life of just becoming obsessed with detailing, as I think you mentioned it off camera before we started. What are some things that you've learned about detailing that you wish you would have known when you just started out? Because I know you've been working on cars your whole life, or at least taking care of equipment in cars. But seriously, detailing, what are some really big things that you've learned recently that you're kind of proud that you learned and that you would have wanted your former self to have known?
Yeah, air condition the garage sooner.
Okay.
So I did that over the winter this year because, man, last summer, there were days I was in the garage. It was 100 plus degrees. A couple times I think I almost passed out. I was pretty, I was pretty beat, but I kept going through it. So I think one is pace yourself, not only the physical work, but pace yourself financially because you also you get obsessed with all of the chemicals and tools and equipment. And I love, in fact, already what I've learned, from another DIY tuber, about it, you don't have to have the fanciest of anything, just enjoy what you're doing, take care of it. And whatever fits you is fine. If that's a garden hose, that's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have the fanciest pressure washer. Some of that makes the job easier. But the most important thing is that you enjoy it and have fun taking care of your cars. You don't do it out of obligation or it's a chore, just to enjoy it. And that's what got me into it.
Good. Now, Bruce, you're starting with a bit of a delay on the other ones in the competition for the simple fact that you've never tried any DIY detail products. So which one are you, we're going to ask the other ones what their favorite is, but in your case, what are you looking forward to trying out the most?
Oh, the gold standard polish, because it's the one that the logic of it, I still don't understand, because when I think of spraying something on a pad, when I'm used to squeezing something more thick on the pad, but I've talked to people and they're not only seeing what on your YouTube channel and on the Facebook group, but I've talked to people personally that have used it and they're like, oh dude, it's great. It's great. And it's so much easier. But I've never been able to because it's so different and it makes me so uncomfortable that I haven't tried it. And so I think I'm looking forward to being forced to trying it. I know that sounds weird, but
we won't force you. But
what I mean. Yeah. So that I'm looking forward to that. Rinseless as well. I'm not a rinseless aficionado by any means, but I've used a number of different products. But again, I hear great things about it. So it's going to forced me to try different things and learn about what works and how to use all different kinds of products. I'm really looking forward to that.
So Bruce, is there one equipment purchase that you're glad you made early on? Again, I have the beginner, in mind always, because I spent way too much money way too early, but I know why I did it, because all these pieces of equipment, like I bought the Kranzel pressure washer. That was a mistake too early, but I had never regretted buying a nice steamer, probably like $1,100 steamer. I never, and Ivan would, chastise me, but I never regretted buying like the Mighty Light extractor, which I'm sure that's like $1,500 now, but it was never cheap when I got it. And there's just different things along the way where, I mean, I bought a creeper, and those are not cheap anymore. I don't know what those cost now, Ivan. I know you've designed your own, but someone told me they're hundreds of dollars on Amazon now, and there's just little things, but like those make a big difference, and they're investments, Bruce. So I don't know. Are there any like things that you're glad you bought early or that you regret outside of the air conditioning?
The pressure washer wall-mounted solution with the hose reel was the absolute best thing I ever bought, because my hose, I just did a YouTube video on this. The hose bibs in my house are like in the back of the house for some ridiculous reason. And so I had 100-foot, and I got unfortunately, I made a bad purchase and had a heavy duty garden hose. And I had to drag that thing from the back to the front, and then of course drag it back when I was done. And that's what did me in many times. Now that the pressure washer with the hose reel, it's like, I don't mind if I'm pulling that pressure washer out 5 times a day. It's all plumbed. I'm right there. I don't have to bring water to it. I mean, it's the epitome of luxury in my mind. But it has so much utility because it just makes washing super, super easy.
I want to go wash my car in your garage now, because I just think it's so great when you have everything set up and ready to go. And that's how you have fun with it, right?
It is, because and that's what I talked about in my latest video, was around what's the pain points you have, and just find the biggest pain point and make it a little bit better. You don't have to make it perfect, just make it a little bit better. And as you incrementally do that, it gets to be even more fun.
Ivan, fun is what we're all about here at DIY Detail. Do you have any final words of wisdom or advice for Bruce?
Well, no final word of wisdom, but one final question for Bruce. And that is, you got 1 minute for your elevator speech to sell us on your channel and why you should win DIY Tuber.
Well, look, Bruce's Garage is about having fun in your garage and about having fun with your cars in detailing. And I try to cover all sorts of fun things that you can do. And again, I'm not about, you have to have the most expensive whatever. Do whatever works for you, but most importantly, have fun. And I want you to have fun with me in my garage.
I'm looking forward to it, Bruce.
Yeah,
you too.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much. Looking forward to it.
I've been moving right along from Missouri to California. Up next
is Christy Torres, better known as Details and Me, or In Me, sorry. Details and then Me. But, the link's down below. How are you doing today, Christy?
I'm great. How are you two?
Excellent.
Doing awesome. Sounds like you have your hands full with kids today and a life and detailing. And I think like most of us, not everyone's a full-time detailer, right? Most of us get into it as a passion. And I would actually just love to know where detailing fits into your life. Like, how did you get started and what, I see you on all the YouTube videos, so I could tell how much you love it, but I'm just sort of curious about your story.
I started kind of unconventionally, I guess, if you will. It was during COVID time. And of course, sitting at home, twiddling our thumbs and full of anxiety, not knowing, what was going on. It was a super weird time. My kids were into YouTube. I had never been one to really watch YouTube, but my kids were watching it. And I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of these Disney movies. Let's watch something else for a change. And so lo and behold, I started getting, detailing videos in my feed, and I started watching them, and oh my goodness, they helped me relax. They helped me to clear my mind. I just found such solace in watching those videos. And the more I watched them, the more I was realizing I was learning and thinking like, hey, I could probably do this, or I think I can do this. Hey everyone, this is Christy with Details in Me. And I just started getting my hands on whatever products I could at the time. And I started doing my own car and my family's cars, if they would let me come near them or near their car, and vice versa. And I just found such pleasure. It was a safe space. It was a place that I could go and just kind of forget about the world around me. And it was beautiful. It literally, this sounds maybe trite, but it saved my life because, again, anxiety it's hard. And I've always been one that, not to bash anybody that takes, any type of Western medicine, but I'm just always been one that says I can do this myself. I can defeat this issue. And detailing has really helped me defeat that issue of anxiety. And then once COVID lifted, I continued to get my hands on products. I continued to watch videos. And then I felt confident enough to actually, work on other people's cars. And as a single mom of four, life is expensive. And so making, little extra money on the side just started to be of, great help. And it just kind of escalated from there. And now I'm here. So.
Wow. Single mom of four, and you find time to do other things.
It's hard, but it's because I love it. I literally find myself, even at work, I'm a teacher, I'm going on 14 years and I love my job, but I can't wait to get home to my garage, as weird as that sounds. You know what I mean? But especially after a long day, it's just, again, it's a safe space and it just helps me clear my mind. And I love it. Everything about it.
I feel the same way. Like when I used to work in news and I'd work a swing shift, which was a very strange schedule. It'd be like a 2 to 10:30 p.m. shift and I'd have an hour drive home. And it was hard because like I should just go straight home, but I couldn't wait to get into the garage. And I would often take a detail, I'd say drop it off that evening, put the key in the lockbox at my shop, and then I'll have it to you by, the next afternoon or whatever. Yeah. And so I would kind of build that time in after work, even though it was super late and unhealthy to stay up that late. And I really looked forward to a few hours, that time between midnight, 2 a.m. or whatever. I really enjoyed getting a start, just me in the garage. No one's emailing me. No one needs anything from me. And I looked forward to it so much. So I understand that passion. I just love to hear that.
Thank you. I love it. My mom is always like, can't you just drink a glass of wine? I'm like, I prefer a product in my hand, they completely, but it's funny. They kind of joke with me because it's, this just came on, I'm almost going to be 42. I'll say that live, and this was only a few years ago. And it's just so weird. You can find your passion at any time in life. And I just think that's what's so cool about it. So,
so what, mechanically speaking, what part of detailing do you like the most? Polishing, washing, interiors, exteriors?
Wheels. I could clean wheels and tires all day. And there's so many people that are like, I hate wheels. I hate tires. Those are the worst part of details. And if I come across hammered wheels, I'm excited. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like the immediate feedback when you see that browning, inside the foam, or I don't know what it is, but I could spend hours on wheels and I have to watch myself because I will, if I'm detailing somebody else's car, I have to really, remind myself, this isn't for fun, Christy, you're doing this for $1, so get going.
It's so hard, that delicate balance. And what I love about YouTube is you can spend extra time to get the B-roll, and you can at least justify not being as efficient as Ivan would recommend, and having more fun with all the foam and the 10 different steps or whatever, which is not the way we teach it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
when you've got a YouTube channel, you can at least justify spending extra time doing certain things. Yeah. And oftentimes to get the good shots, it does take way longer to detail a car, It really does. To detail a car and to record a video. And that's the delicate balance that I will tell you as a content creator of like, Ivan, we put out a short recently where it's like detailing should not be a chore. Detailing should be fun, right? It really should be enjoyable. And that's what you feel. I can feel it coming off of you, Chrissy. Like you love it. And that's amazing. But when you're shooting videos and doing it and trying to make money, it can put layers on it that can be difficult. So, I hope you're just enjoying the journey so far.
I am. Thank you.
What are you wanting out of YouTube? Like, what are you wanting out of the DIY Tuber program?
For me, it's really just the experience and the chance to learn. I am a lifelong learner at heart, and this stuff just really excites me. Not to mention the opportunity by being mentored by the both of you, honestly. I'm just excited. I have so much fun doing it, and it just sounded like something that was going to help me continue down the road in the right direction. So yeah, I would have to say, experience and fun. Those are I think the main two. And of course, the mentorship doesn't hurt.
Well, I think one thing, and Ivan can chime in on this too, but you're so actively engaged on so many channels, like in all the premieres, you're always commenting, like you're just such a familiar name. And that's a real part of this. Like I look at Eddie Clone's channel and it's not that big, 5,000-6,000 at the time of this recording, but it's like 6,000 human beings. There's not a bot in there, and they all are so hyper engaged, right? It's so easy to forget when you scale on YouTube and in any social media platform that real human beings are behind the screen of every single, subscriber count. And so by being actively engaged as a human who has had a lot of connections, you connect with people, that's a great start, and Ivan will say, remember to respond to all of the comments on all your channels and really engage, because like that's a part of this journey, is human to human connection. And I can tell that's like a strength of yours,
Thank you. Yeah. Has been wild. I never thought I would find friendships and people that I've never even met, whom I feel so close to, just as close to people I've known my whole life. It's been that I think is what is so special about this, whole detailing journey, is just the people that are involved. It is something to be, something to be heard of. It's amazing.
Excellent. Yeah, the detailing really is a nice community. There are some, outliers of the community that are a little nasty and all that, but we'll ignore them for now. And they can leave the comments below. And
outside of like literally probably one person I could think of, most people you'll just meet in person, and like even if people talk behind your back later on or in between or whatever, when you meet them in person, it's just like, oh, okay. This is no keyboard warrior action. Like we could all just get along. Because I think one thing about detailers that we all share in common is like we all know how to work. And when you get together with people who aren't strangers to hard work, there's just something that bonds you together. I don't know. I used to like run cross country in high school, which is nothing like detailing, I guess. But it's like it was like the nerdy kids. But the one thing you knew about them all is they knew how to like work really hard and persevere through hard things. Because like running miles and miles is not fun for most people, and there was just something about everyone, like if you meet a cross country runner, like they were just good people. I feel like that's what detailing is like. When you actually meet them, it's like none of us are strangers to hard work. And I think that's a bridge, between all of us, that like we can meet halfway, or I don't know what metaphor I'm talking about now, but hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does make sense. Although you're not going to catch me running unless someone's chasing me. So
no, I don't like running, but I just remember that feeling of like, anyway.
No, I totally get it. And I agree completely.
Now, for the fun part of it, what's your favorite DIY product that you've tried?
Quick beads all the way. That is just a product that, gosh, the ease of use is amazing. The gloss is amazing, especially on my car. I have a silver car, and the deep, rich finish it brings, I love. Not to mention, it helps keep the dust at bay, which I have a problem with around here in my area. To and from work, I drive through fields. So it's just one of those products that kind of helps in that cleaning process because it keeps the dirt minimal, I have found.
That's so interesting, because sometimes people will think, this is like attracting dust, like a product might attract dust. And what I try to tell people is like, honestly, we're just in the elements, right? Like you could wash your car and then, a bunch of wind and pollen and everything. This is just life with a car that's not garaged all the time. But it's cool to hear that you think Quick Beads actually prevents dust. That's the first time I've heard that.
I absolutely, for me anyway, like I said, I could, if I don't have something like Quick Beads on my car, I could accumulate inches of layers of dust, literally. And that sounds, like I'm over exaggerating, but I'm not.
Oh, we lost Christy.
No, Quick Beads definitely minimizes it for me.
And I've still got Christy, Ivan. I don't know if you lost her or not, but we're back on my end. Yep.
Yeah. Give us your 1-minute elevator speech as to why they should vote for you.
Ooh, I get to toot my own horn here. Honestly, I really just feel like I am what DIY is all about. This is a company that says you can do it yourself. And that is really what I've taken from this. Your products are awesome. They're easy to use. I have made them work in my own driveway at my own home. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm not super experienced, but I've learned so much. And I feel like being able to conquer this opportunity, being able to be a part of this opportunity is it's just going to help me grow and learn as a person and as a detailer, and just help me to continue this journey wherever it takes me. I'm so willing to go there. So hopefully, people will like and subscribe and root for me.
Excellent.
Yeah, I hope so too. I love the idea of like this friendly competition, because I think it'll push all of us out of our comfort zones, which usually makes everybody better. I think we can all learn from each other, and I've said that before, but I hope it does that for everybody. Like, no matter what happens, you come out the other side with, whether it's more subscribers or more confidence, or you've just you have more inspiration. And then hopefully it inspires other people watching this journey to be like, I think I could start a channel, or I think I could do that too. And then, we have more rounds of DIY Tuber to come.
Yes, I already winner. I'll be honest with you. Wherever this goes, this right here has just been, I was shell shocked when I got the email. So no matter what, there's some great competitors already in this top 4, and I'm so happy to be working with them. But whatever happens, I'm rooting for everybody. And just the fact that I was here and on this podcast with you guys, that's a win for me. So
excellent. Yeah. And, I started a little Facebook Messenger group with the 4 contestants. And just the camaraderie that they're already showing. It's not a competition as far as I'm concerned with them. They're all there to help each other. It's like, oh, well, no, I can't do it this day. Can you do it that day? And so just a lot of fun happening there. So I think this is going to be a really fun and enjoyable competition, and competition in air quotes, because in the end everyone wins. Absolutely. So that's the fun part of it. So
yes, thank you guys so much.
Thank
you, Christy. Nick, we've had 2 great interviews already with Bruce and Christy. Now we have another Chris, though, and she's better known as the detailing grandma.
Here she is. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
Great, Chris.
Doing great.
Thanks for joining us.
There we go. I put
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, Detail Grandma. Is it okay? It's Detail Grandma, not Detailing Grandma.
Right.
I feel like you have this thing that when you talk, people listen. I think it's so fascinating to watch your channel. As new as you are to YouTube, I think everyone's learning. You have at this point the largest audience of our DIY Tuber crew.
I saw
just
that.
Over 1,000.
I thought kind of felt out of place. I saw that.
Hey, but we're going by interactions and not just views, and this whole DIY Tuber journey is gonna be really fun for everybody. But I wonder if you could just tell everybody out there how you got into detailing. I know it's such a general question on every detail podcast ever, so you can take this wherever you want. But I'm just curious whether it found you, or you found it, or you've been around cars for a while, or you just discovered this a day ago. Just tell me kind of how the detailing bug bit you.
Actually, I just left the trucking industry after almost 25 years, and I was sitting around at home. My parents work for an automotive group, and my mom called and asked if I would come and detail the cars at the car lot for a couple weeks. They didn't have anybody to cover that spot at the time, and I thought, sure, why not? I can wipe anything down and vacuum this out of it, 'cause shit. No, that was not the case. And you guys know as well as I do what I learned very quickly. But it didn't take me long to fall in love with it. I loved the transformation and the learning. It was the challenge. Can I get that clean? Of course, I had lots of failures, but can I get all of that gross grease off of the door panels? Yes, I've seen that. It was a challenge. And I just quickly fell in love with it. And I thought, no, I got to find a way to make this work for me, because this is what I want to do. And my doctor said I needed to do something active. What better activity than detailing?
I truly, even when I'm detailing with Ivan, who is the most efficient one out there, so you're working the least hard when you're with Ivan, and I'm in the shop with him all day, I'll look at my Apple Watch and the steps, it'll be like 12,000 steps. So you definitely get your steps. But then if you're not working as efficiently as Ivan, it's also an incredible workout, especially when you're doing hammered interiors. So I think if you're really working, I agree with you. Like, detailing is phenomenal exercise.
It is. I love it. I still have my part-time job. And when I go there, I'm like, but when it comes Thursday and I know I'm going to be heading to the shop to start detailing again, I'm like, I have a new boost going on. I feel good. I'm telling you, it is just, I wish I had started this 30 years ago.
But you're starting it now. And I think that's a great opportunity for you to show everybody that whether a grandma or someone in their 20s, like, or a high school kid, it's never too late to start. Like, you're starting a YouTube channel and a detailing business. And I think that's so unique. And
the YouTube channel was all by accident, and actually detailing was all by accident. But yeah, and there was a time, because I did start in the beginning of the summer, and then the really bad heat started setting in. And I thought, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But I adjusted pretty quick. But I've been in construction, and you have to deal with the heat a lot. So I think I was a little more acclimated to it.
Do you enjoy interiors or exteriors more?
I actually enjoy interiors better than I do exterior. However, in my defense of that, I am not very familiar with working on exteriors either. So to say that I don't like doing them would probably be false, only because I don't really know yet.
Yeah.
But what I have learned has been enjoyable. The transformation is the same, but because I know interiors much, much better, I think I enjoy those much better.
And you know what's interesting is I found with my Hawk Pro Detailing YouTube channel that even when I wasn't the Ivan, when I was just experiencing something for the first time or trying to problem solve as I was on a job and I documented on video, Chris, that people really responded to that. So they respond to you, to your real rawness. So if it's the first time doing something, say, hey, this is the first time I've done this. I'm going to try my best. Ivan said this week we're doing wheel cleaning. So here's the way he suggested, but here's how however you do it, people I think are going to really respond to that realness of I'm trying to overcome the problem in the moment, right? That's a good story. A good story has drama. It's like, I have this problem. I want to fix it. Now make it interesting enough so people want to tag along with you along that journey. And if you can get a resolution that's satisfying, like that's the making of a good YouTube video. So I hope that, that inspires you to try stuff. And then of course you have Ivan and myself, if you have any questions on how this stuff works.
And I am thankful for that, because I imagine I'm going to have some questions, especially through all of this. But yeah, I do feel like, just based on the comments, that people do relate to me better because I just put it out there, I mean, I'm not hiding it. Oh, I almost dropped this brush. I can't figure out how to clean this. I don't know what else to do. I've already done it 3 times. It's not improving. And they relate to that. The other thing that I think they relate to is I don't complicate it. I can't complicate it. I have to keep it as simple and basic as possible and still try to do my job. And they're still learning. And sometimes detailing, and I learned that early on, it can be tough, when you're not familiar and then you get confused and you overthink it. And I think that's why they relate to me. And yeah, I just put it all on the table. It's out there.
What has been a moment along the detailing journey where you felt most frustrated?
In the first few months of my journey, I reached a point where I could not figure out. I have an extractor, all right, but
that's the E word for Ivan. That's a bad word.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'll tell you what, I don't use it now. I don't hardly ever use it now because of Ivan. I listen to everything that he has said, and I don't hardly ever use it anymore, because what it's come down to, and I've learned, but there for a while, it really made me feel extremely defeated. And carpets and seats, especially, it was a tough time. And I've learned since then, it's really the product. The product is going to make the biggest difference, if that makes any sense. So that was the toughest, but it still is in a way, because there's a lot to those different fabrics and carpets too. Trying to figure out what works. You know what I mean?
And Ivan will give you our methods, and I'll maybe talk to you if you want about some of the carpet cleaning and janitorial methods. But I'm only as good as those products with those methods.
Exactly.
And Ivan has opened my eyes too to just how wet I was getting some of these. You know, and it depends on if it's a newer vehicle or if it's an older vehicle and you take the seats out, and you don't take seats out, Ivan says. But like, there was this 3-row passenger van that I took seats out of once, and there's no sensors in this thing. I mean, it was just a big van, or like a cargo van. But I mean, that was like an $800 detail, and I feel like I've never been the same since. Like it should have been a $1,500 detail. I don't know. It just was so exhausting that, it could be a rabbit hole. And when Ivan, you say just, you know, and I think your screen's breaking up a lot, Ivan, so I don't know if you can hear us or not. You're kind of frozen. Yeah. So, but you can hear us. Maybe it'll come back in the recording. But, you know, the whole thing of like, it's not your fault that the stain is there, and it's not your fault that this happened. It's like, that's got to be a comforting thing to hear, Chris, knowing that like, your job is to be obviously deliver customer pleasing results, but like being profitable, you know, you don't have to impress any detailers online. Like, there can be some very tough interiors. I know that is a true thing for sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, you know, you've gone to a school that a lot of detailers haven't gone to, and that's dealerships. And doing dealership details is not something that's sexy. It's not something that people are very attracted to, but in reality, it's probably the best school you could ever get. And with that, you know, your YouTube channel, you've got what I think you're up to, you know, dealership detail 190 or something like that on your channel. So
I think
you've
it's
been
181
for a long time.
Yeah. And that's, you know, I have expressed that several times on my channel. I really feel like every new detailer, especially somebody like me who's coming into this business, I knew nothing about cars, guys. I could change the oil in a big truck, but I couldn't do it in a car. And when it came to opening the hood of a car and doing an engine bay wipe down, I was so intimidated, it's not even funny. So coming from somebody like me, where I was at the time, I knew nothing about cars. I joke about it, but I didn't even know what a door jamb was. So coming from somebody like me and being a newbie that really doesn't know, but they want to do this and they want to learn, I just want them to know that I really feel like dealership detailing in their first year, you're not going to make a lot of money. You are really not going to make a lot of money. I only make $100 per detail. But I've learned so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is unreal. The disaster details are a big headache. I get that. But it's been a huge blessing, and I'm not going anywhere. I love working with my parents. So, you know, we have our moments, you know, but I'm not going anywhere. I really enjoy it. And I am up to 180. Well, only thing you guys are going to get so far, because I haven't edited everything, I'm up to 181, but it's actually 192, I think.
Oh, wow. And what do you edit your videos on?
My phone.
That's the way to do it.
I have a little card that I put in there now. I went over to the phone carrier and I talked to him about it because I was running out of room. I could only keep a couple of videos on there. And so they gave me this memory card that I can put in here. And so I can store them on there. So I've got about 10 stored on there right now. So every time I get a chance, I pull one off or I pull it back and I get it edited. But yeah, I just do it on my phone. I don't have anything fancy yet.
Well, Chris, what's your favorite DIY product? I know you've tried a few recently, so.
I have tried a few. Right now, my favorite product is the rinseless wash, but I do have several that I've received, and I still have to get through those. But I will tell you that 8-year coating was very, very easy to use. The only reason it's not my favorite is because I haven't done it more than once yet. But the rinseless, I've done it. I've probably used that about 15 times now on about 15 different cars and a toolbox.
Yeah, rinseless works on so many different things. I use it to clean cars, clean the interior cars, clean household surfaces, and it's just it's so versatile. And so I'm excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see where you take the DIY tuber. And I'm happy, and congratulations on making the first round.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, guys, and I do look forward to working with you, and I can't wait to ask you all the questions that I am definitely going to have, because I'm sure you guys are going to put me to the test.
Sounds good.
Now time to go to the other end of the spectrum. Now we have our youngest participant in DIY Tuber.
Also happens to be kind of a neighbor to you, Ivan, geographically speaking.
2.5 hours away. So Antoine is not that close, but yeah. And for you guys out there, I'm French speaking, so it's Antoine, but everybody else, it's Antoine.
Yep, Antoine.
How do we say your last name?
In English, Bilodeau, I guess, and in French, Bilodeau.
Bilodeau.
Yep.
Ivan, how do we say your name in proper Quebec?
Yvan Lacroix.
Okay. All right. Here we are.
Which is unpronounceable for someone who speaks English, so that's why it's Ivan Lacroix.
Well, the last but not the least in age, but all right, Antoine, tell us a little bit about your detailing journey. From what I can tell, you're a mobile detailer, which is not easy to do in the wintertime, but yeah, like, how did you discover detailing? What got you in the game?
So this is my third summer detailing, and as you said, in winter it's pretty difficult. Here in Quebec, there's a lot of snow. We get too much snow, too many snow, too much. Yeah, too much. And so this is my third year. I got into detailing by looking some videos. So I started by watching Pan. Ivan, I saw your videos with Optimum No Rinse and their company and everything. And then I'm sorry, I'm kind of stressed.
No, you're good. I mean, if you watched Ivan's old Optimum videos, you would have been in like middle school, I feel like, when he was doing that.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I always liked cars. So cars was one of my passion. And then when I got mine at 17 for my first car, I started getting a bit into the cleaning side of things. And then I really got into it. So I kept watching a lot of videos. I bought stuff.
Guys, so today we're going to be reviewing DIY Details brand and how their products work.
And then I said, so why not just start doing other people's car? And then I was looking for some shops to start detailing in. And at my age, they're pretty expensive. So I said, hey, I have a car. So why not just go to people's house and do them there? So I'm doing now about in a 30 miles radius of mobile detailing. And I'm doing a lot of vehicles. So this is pretty fun. And yep.
Yeah, and I noticed on your YouTube channel, you do, even your long forms are vertical. So we're going to have to get you shooting in horizontal.
Yep.
And it's actually a pretty new channel, Ivan. Like I was looking at his history, and I don't know, what did you see when we were choosing our finalists? Because I see a lot of potential, Antoine. I see you're young, and I know there's a lot of young kids out there who are just starting detailing. I know 21's not a kid, but like the older you get, the more you think, people younger than you were kids, right? Maybe Ivan thinks I'm a kid. I don't know, but 21's still pretty young. And but I just see a lot of potential. I see your on-camera presence, and I know this is like a live interview, and you might be a little nervous, but like I could see it, and I was like, I think you're really going to engage with viewers. When did you start your YouTube channel, and how's that been going?
I started I think my first video was last year. So the first year I was doing detailing. I didn't do any videos. I was not present online. And then around here, there's a lot of detailers, especially in Montreal. There's other people that started doing a lot of videos and blowing up. So I said, hey, why not start doing them as well? And so I started doing them just to get more clients and put myself out there, get comfortable, just get comfortable with the camera and speaking online. And so my first video was last year. Then I started doing more shorts. So my style right now is more of the satisfying videos, not really the talking ones. But I've been shooting the last couple of days some horizontal videos, and I think they're going to come out great. And I'm super excited to show you what I've been doing the last couple of days.
Excellent. Yeah, and some of the more prolific detailers or online detailers are from Quebec, Pan the organizer, close by to you. So definitely there's a few of us here.
Yep.
But
small but mighty. Like you're like, oh, someone from Quebec, and then all of a sudden you're like, Pan, Ivan, like, okay, all right, what you got, Antoine? Like,
Frank from Dogma is in Quebec as well. So there's a few of us here. But what are your aspirations with DIY Tuber? What do you want out of it?
The first thing is just to learn. Obviously, I want to learn doing some more videos, like you guys said, how to shoot, how to also interact with viewers. So this is the second thing. Building a community is the thing I want to do the most. You're a group with 50,000 people. I see about 30 posts a day. I just love it. That's absolutely crazy to me. So interacting with viewers, helping them helping me, recommending me stuff, and it's just to help, have fun, and enjoy detailing.
Perfect.
What's your elevator pitch? Because this is a competition, Antoine. Let's be real. You're up against 3 other people who want it. Who wants it the most? I don't know yet. We're just getting to know you. But what's your elevator pitch?
You'll see in the videos. I think I've got some pretty quality stuff coming. I'm not here to sell myself. I'm just having fun in the competition. Yes, I'm competing, but I'm more having fun and just enjoying myself. So the other 3 people are also amazing persons. I got to talk to them a bit on the messenger group we have, and everyone is just amazing, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. The messenger group is fun. Yep. The 4 people that are in the competition all have the same goal, and that is not to compete. We're here to grow. We're here to have fun. We're here to explore. And yes, there will be a winner eventually, but I think everyone will come out winning from this.
Yeah, definitely.
You're the only mobile detailer in the bunch. So you have a bit of an advantage and a disadvantage in the sense. Luckily, you're part of this competition during the summer, not during January to March, which would have been a little more difficult for you. Yep. But what do you want to show as a mobile detailer that's different than a shop-based detailer?
Definitely, I think there's more struggles in the mobile detailing. So you have the weather, which in a shop you don't have to really worry about that. Then there's all the process of going to the client's house. There's more communicating and also preparing. In the shop, you just get the car, all your stuff is around, and you just start detailing. So there's a lot of struggles in the mobile detailing side. Eventually, I want to get a shop as well, because that's just the ultimate goal. Have your own things and do some bigger jobs. But yeah, definitely show the struggles of being a mobile detailer and my experience around it.
Ivan, I was going to say, because there's guys like Joe Fernandez in California, and actually lots of guys like Tony Ralda in Virginia, people with really nice vans. Like if you're going to be mobile, your van should probably cost as much as your shop rent over the first X amount of months or year. Like it was almost like when I went into carpet cleaning and I just had my portable extractor versus spending $60,000 to get the whole van with the truck mount and the really high PSI and the whole thing. Like if you have a legit mobile setup, do you think that is a sustainable thing, or are you always going to say get a shop, Ivan? Because I pine with nostalgia for the mobile days. Like yes, all those challenges existed, but I had so much more fun. The customer interaction was great. The challenges were real. And I think I forget about how hard it was when it was freezing and I had to use the bathroom, and it was just the vibes were wrong. It was a dark garage and they had no heat, and it was the middle of winter time. Like there were some rough times.
Yeah.
I'd be tripping breakers. Like, I was doing it out of my van, out of like a pickup truck, but not like a legit setup. So I don't know.
Yeah, in Quebec, it's a little more difficult because of the winter that we get. It would be like, for the Americans trying to do mobile detailing in Wisconsin. about the same weather. So not exactly the ideal situation. There are mobile detailers that go all year round, but they have a good established clientele that they have a garage. So they're doing the detailing inside the customer's garage. And Antoine, what's the Saint-Marie is what? Maybe about 40,000 people?
No, Sainte-Marie, just Sainte-Marie is about 13,000 people.
Okay,
but
yeah.
around, like in a 40-mile radius, I'd say we're about 50,000, yeah.
Yeah. And there's already 2 good detailers that I know of in Sainte-Marie-de-Beauce. So, you know, and there's probably more, but there's 2 that, you know, I see online and I interact with. One is used to be one of my franchisees. So the market is there. People want it, and no one else is doing mobile in your area. So that's a big positive for you for 6 months of the year.
Yep.
And then a little negative for the other 6 months. But yeah, so mobile detailing has its own challenges, has its own things. If you're living in California, if you're living in Florida, you know, somewhere like that, mobile detailing is great. You can do it year round. But for a mobile detailer in a northern climate, your biggest overhead is your loss of work, as opposed to having to pay rent.
Yeah.
Now, Antoine, you're still in university?
Yep.
Yeah. So how many more years do you have to go?
I have 1 more year, so I'm now in my bachelor's degree in accounting. So
Okay.
I'm finishing in May of 2025, and then I'm done. Yep.
Then you're done?
Yep. Next summer, I plan to go full time. Maybe if the shops are a bit too expensive and I'm not there yet, I'll get a van, wrap it up, and get ready to go to detail all summer.
What's your mobile rig now?
I'm in my small sedan. It's a Ford Focus 2008, so it's not the best.
Yeah.
It does a job.
It's probably a very clean 2008 Focus. Yeah.
Have you done videos where you show how you detail out of that? Because those always did very well for me. Like, you know, like a 20-minute video where you just show how. I think there's a huge audience out there for people who want to see someone roughing it early on like you. Like, so just show all your struggles, show what you're all about, show how you pack it all into a small sedan, because you're inspiring people out there, because detailing is for everybody, you know, and that's what's beautiful about it. Anybody can start it. The low barrier of entry means anyone who's willing to work hard can give it a shot, and they're going to be welcomed into detailing because it's not that hard to get into. So you'll inspire a lot of people out there, and you might get a real core group. So don't be afraid. It may be tempting to like make it look like everything's perfect from the outside, but I would encourage you to show your vulnerabilities. Just a thought, because people are going to respond to those, right? They'll fall in love with your weaknesses. They'll like your strengths, but they'll fall in love with you because of some of those more humanizing vulnerabilities. That's my take on it anyway. So yeah. Showing your mobile rig is kind of cool, especially when it's like a little sedan.
Yeah, I used to do mobile detailing out of a smart car. So, you know, the Focus is a big car compared to what I use. But yeah, definitely, you know, like Nick was saying, expose yourself, show who you are, what your real struggles are, because struggles, if you show a way of overcoming your struggles, that's going to help other people overcome theirs. And, you know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, I can't start doing mobile detailing because I don't have a van yet. No, you can start. You don't need a van. You can do it on a bicycle if you wanted to, but it's just getting
on a
over
bicycle?
those struggles. With a backpack, you know, yeah, you know, if you're using the customer's power, if you're using the customer's water, on a bicycle, you can put a bucket, you can put your supplies in there. You may not be going, you know, detailing, doing ceramic coatings and stuff like that, but a basic maintenance wash can be done. You know, I did full-on corrections, everything out of a smart car that fits 3 buckets, you know, the equivalent of 3 buckets in the trunk. So it can be done. And, you know, a bicycle is not much smaller than a smart car. You know, but there are ways of doing it if you want to do it. And that's the important part. And what makes you want to detail? What's your why?
My why is because I want my own thing. So when I first started, I looked around in the city and I said, hey, what don't we have here that I can just start doing and that people will like and will need? So I looked at myself. I said, I like cars. Are there any car detailers out there? There was some, but no mobile detailers. So I said, hey, why not? I'm going to start this. And then I worked it up. And then now I got a bit of business. And I can decide when I want to work, what I want to work on, and this is what I like. And even the business side of things, interacting with clients, this is a thing I like a lot. And yeah, now I'm going to start doing a lot more videos and interact with the people that want to interact with me.
Very good. Now, one final question for you.
Yep.
What's your favorite DIY product?
Oh, definitely the gold standard polish. It's just next level comparing to other brands. You can use it with different pads. You can let it sit on the vehicle. You can save so much time. It's just an amazing product. I love it. It doesn't stain any trims or plastics. So many benefits from it. It's insane.
Excellent.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right, Antoine.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And we'll be seeing you on DIY Tuber.
So sorry, Antoine, we haven't left you behind. You're in the waiting room. We'll talk to you after the podcast is over, so don't go anywhere. But Ivan, usually we got to wrap these up. And your final thoughts after we've talked to all four of the DIY tubers?
I think it's going to be a really, really healthy competition where they're all rooting for each other. They all want everyone else to win. Of course, they want to win themselves as well. And I think with that attitude, we're going to have 4 winners. At the end, our fan base is going to have to choose someone, but it's going to be a very, very difficult choice, I think, for people to decide which one they like better. And there's personalities involved. So personalities, some personalities can rub one person wrong and the other person loves it. So that is a factor in this. But I think, if you look at their subscriber count, the highest has 1,000, the lowest has 350. So not that big of a spread to start off with. And, like Antoine was mentioning, we have our Facebook group. The Facebook group will be the primary source of interaction for them other than their YouTube channel. So that will be, they're going to be posting their premieres there. They're going to be asking people to, hey, come watch my premiere, come watch my video, and the voting will happen there as well. So it's going to be a fun time for the next 3 months for these people. And then after that, remember, we got another batch of 4, and then 1 from each batch comes back, plus a bonus round. So should be fun.
Hearing him talk about roughing it out in the elements reminded me that there's a really good video you and Sylvie just did about rinseless washing and decon. Out in the sun, no excuses.
No.
And that video, folks can find right here.